And welcome back to Celebrity Scene News here at Hooters in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to talk about mental telepathy, but more important, the man that makes it all happen, Mr. Gerry McCambridge. And Gerry, it's good seeing you once again.
Pleasure to see you. Thank you for having me.
Well, you certainly have done some remarkable things in the minds of many people, and we certainly would like to know all the secrets, if they really are secrets. But most importantly, let's talk about how you got on that scooter, on that special televised special that went all over the world, and how you did it with your eyes blindfolded. That was amazing.
Do you want the real explanation as to what happened?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what I do is a combination of mixing all your senses together to make it almost like a sixth sense, almost. So when I proposed that routine to NBC, they really loved it. They thought it would be a great ending to my special. So the first thing I did is I ordered a scooter that I researched the scooters a little, found a scooter that had really fast pickup that can, you know, really fast, not one of the slow electric scooters. That was very important. Then I started to work with the scooter for about 6 months. I would ride it on an average of 3 hours a day around the neighborhood where I used to live in New York, bouncing off of curbs, hitting potholes, getting so used to that scooter it became second nature. Because when you drive your car, you don't think to yourself, step on the brake, step on the gas. Your body just does it. It's second nature. I needed to be the same with the scooter. So when I got really good at riding the scooter, NBC told me where they got permits to film that in New York, because there's special permits involved. You're going to drive down Times Square blindfolded. They want to know where to put the police and everything. So I started to go to the city every day and ride that path constantly, because nothing around you changes in the city. So I kind of got used to the sounds of the buildings, the way that the trucks echoed off of them. I knew what time the permit was set for, so I would watch the traffic lights, and I knew, okay, when that light turns green, if I wait 8 seconds and hit the road, I can hit all the cross lights and do the 5 blocks like I wanted to. So it was just a bunch of research that went into it. So my ears became really in tune to what was going on. I knew the sounds of the streets. I knew a bunch that was going on. The only one variable, if you watch it, at one point I smashed into the back of a truck. And what had happened was NBC didn't tell me that they were going to have a camera following me on a motorcycle. And the sounds of that motorcycle threw me off, because I was so used to the sounds of the trucks and the cars and the buses, and I'd know when they were coming and how close they were. Now the motorcycle following with that camera, it kind of threw all the sounds off, so I didn't hear what I was supposed to hear. Boom, I hit the truck, and I recovered and kept going, and it made for some very interesting TV. NBC had to cut a bunch of it out because the guy got out of the truck and did some things with his fingers. We don't need to go over that, but he was a typical New Yorker, and it made for some very interesting footage on the behind the scenes of the DVD. So it was just a combination of practice and work and getting used to the environment. And if I told you to close your eyes and walk from here over to the box office, you'd stumble on everything. If you did that every day for 6 months, you'd get used to it. You'd figure out a way to do it, you know, without your sight, and it was the same thing with me.
Let's obviously make sure.
You expected, isn't it?
Yes, but also you had silver dollars in your eyes and the tape so that you couldn't see, and I want people to know that, because I mean, it's just absolutely amazing that your senses could pick that up, no matter how many times you practice it, Gerry.
Well, how can you take a blind man and give him a dog and a little cane and say, navigate the city, and he can live his life as a blind person? Why couldn't I do something 4 blocks long? You know, it may look interesting and entertaining and impressive, but when you really break it down as to what it is, it's just a matter of studying the environment and the course. And, you know, take a blind man, put him in his house for 2 years, he'll get around fine. Change the furniture around, he's going to, you know, have a little trouble. So it was the same with me. I knew that most of the variables would be the same.
Let's talk about your new contract with the Hooters Hotel, and most importantly, you've been a family man, and how you're able to keep your family life in the crazy business of show business and have a successful marriage, a successful family, which so many people don't.
Well, believe it or not, the saneness came into my life by seeking out Vegas. When I was on the road for about 20 years, doing about 170 one-nighters a year, bouncing all over the country clubs and comedy clubs and corporate functions, and that was really taxing on the marriage, a lot more than you would think Vegas is. So I figured I have to find a way that I can support my family and do what I love, and just do it every night, where I drive in, do my thing, and then drive home. So during the day, I'm a soccer dad, and I hang out with the kids and take them to school. And, I leave my house at 6, come into the showroom for 7. I'm home back by 9 o'clock, tucking him in bed. So I went to Reno, I went to Tahoe, I went to Atlantic City, I came to Vegas. I liked Vegas the best. And I came out here on a 3-week contract at the Rampart Casino just to kind of get a feel for the town. And that turned into 47 sold-out weeks out there. It was really, really good. Gave me a chance to learn the town, learn the locals. Locals are very, very important to shows in this town and to casinos. Not only just the local casinos, but the strip casinos as well, which that knowledge of learning how important the locals are is what caused me to start my website, Show Tickets for Locals, to show my appreciation and give back to them and give them free tickets. And so by coming to Vegas, it gave me more of a family life. It allows me to spend more time with my wife and kids and still come in and do what I love to do, and Hooters is now allowing me to do it for another year. They said to me, do you want to work a 6th night? I was like, I'd love to. I love to do what I do. I've been a crazy man all day today with the kids. I'm relaxing now. I'm coming to work, and this is what I relax doing. So it's really good for the marriage.
Well, they certainly do like you at Hooters. I want the folks to know how much they like you and show that beautiful Rolex.
It was in recognition of my 500th performance in Vegas and my 1-year anniversary at Hooters. Gary Gregg, the Chief Operations Officer, came up on stage at the anniversary show and said, thank you for being here for a year. We'd like you to stay, and here's a token of our appreciation. And to me, that's a great thing. I never like to burn bridges. When I was at the Rampart, the only reason I left the Rampart was because the Stardust asked me to go down there. And the people at the Rampart said, man, go, it's what you've been waiting for, it's your dream. And when the Stardust closed, before I started here at Hooters, the Rampart actually called me back and said, we'd love to have you back. So I love the fact that I keep doors open, I keep relationships nice, and, I don't say, oh, I'm getting out of here, I'm going to the strip, screw you guys. It's just the opposite, and it's a small town, and the fact that, one of the reasons I got the job here was because Gary, the boss, plays softball with the guy who runs the Rampart. So when we were talking and when we were negotiating, my boss here went to my ex-boss and said, what do you think of The Mentalist? And he was like, he's a great guy, he's a team player, he does whatever we ask him to, and he's really good for our patrons, and if you have the advantage to work with him, just jump on it. And that's how small this town is.